If you were going to bury 5 books in a time capsule that were representative of today's culture, what would they be? That's the question I'm going to answer today. I am the supplier. This tag was started by Aaron over at Matham Books. Each of the 5 books that go in this time capsule has a different quality. A book that entertains, a book that evokes emotion, a book that is enlightening, a book that shows the importance or the magic of reading, and a book that expresses modern culture. I like making reading lists, so I saw this as a reading list type challenge. Let's get started. 1. A book that entertains. I'm going to go with The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. I've read this book a number of times and even listened to Alexie read the audiobook version, and it doesn't fail to make me laugh, while at the same time challenging me to challenge the stereotypical notions of American Indian. 2. A book that evokes emotion. Instead of focusing on sadness, which I think is the prevailing emotion we think about when we think about emotional books, I'm going to go with awe. I finished Airborne by Kenneth Oppel earlier this week, and I really think awe would be the correct emotions, the emotion that I felt when I was finished reading this book. The construction of the story and its writing and characters kept me turning pages well into the night, and you can see how thick that is. I also found myself to be appreciative of the fact that Oppel didn't underestimate the power of the reader, as the book is set on an airship, and he uses nautical terms, but allows the reader to use context to figure out what these terms mean. That's a writer who knows his narrator and knows his audience. 3. A book that is enlightening. In a series I did a while ago called 5 Things I Gained from Reading Literature, I talked about the book Siddhartha and how it's one of those books that appeared at the right time in my life when I was searching for faith. I thought about including it here, but decided instead to include Pete Houtman's Godless. Godless is about a boy called Jason. He's an agnostic adolescent who is moving toward atheism and is tired of his parents' religion and decides to create his own. Jason learns that creating a religious system is a whole lot easier than controlling that system. I think that Jason's struggles are timeless, and that if the future looks anything like the dystopian novels that are so popular now, they'll need a book like Godless. 4. A book that shows the magic of reading. Wonderstruck by Brian Selznick. Wonderstruck tells 2 parallel stories. In words, readers get the story of Ben, who is searching for information about a father he's never known. In images, the original artwork by the author Brian Selznick, we get the story of Rose, who is also searching for something. I include this under the beauty of reading because I envision this story as a bedtime read for my sister and my niece, when my niece is older and can speak in whole words, where my sister reads the text portion and my niece reads the pictures. And really, who knows what texts are going to be like in the future, you know? There's something so simple and so beautiful about sharing a story with a child. And finally, 5. A book that expresses modern culture. This one was difficult, definitely the hardest of the 5, but I'm going to go with The Gardener by S.A. Bodine. We're talking a lot about sustainability and climate change and whatnot in politics right now, with the hopes that we can arrest the rate at which we're destroying our planet. Well, The Gardener is a novel about one way we could use science to combat issues of sustainability. It also asks readers to stop and think about medical ethics, an issue that is so important as science advances. One of the things I loved about this tag was I really had to think outside of my list of favorite books, which, are the books that I think about and that I recommend all the time. So, thank you, Aaron, for starting this tag, and thanks to you for watching. There's a link to the original video in the description, as well as the list of 5 requirements. If you feel so inclined, I'd love to hear what you'd put in your time capsule. Until later, happy reading, and don't forget to be awesome.